Me, 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 la, 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 la. Oh, that was quick. Didn't even get a chance to warm myself up here. All right, hang on. Gotta flex the old vocals because today we're trying something a little different, a little more off-brand, a little more esoteric. But this is because I got a request for a friend. Now, to give a bit of backstory, I appreciate that. That's always nice. That's nice. Um, but yes. So to explain what's going on here, I I have been messing around with X slash Twitter's AI generation stuff, and I've been using it to just generate shit posts. I was on an absolute tear the other day, and I ended up making something that was just absolutely ridiculous as far as what I was doing. Uh, I ended up making um, a very meta series of entries based around the scene from I've been getting the craziest deja vu for the last day, and I just got it again. I had it hours ago. I had it now. Weird. Craziness. Ah, weird. Okay. Anyway, no, it's just I have suffered from deja vu my entire life. Um and I get it really strong at certain points, and it's just been persistent all day long. So, like, I don't know, something about this moment just it felt very familiar to me. Um anyway, let's ignore that for now. I'm going to try and get back on track here. Because the point here is that I was trying to do something that was suggested to me by a good friend. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a bit of a dry run. I'm gonna try narrating as opposed to gaming. I'm gonna try narrating the posts, the stories that I've generated using this particular AI tool from X slash formerly known as Twitter. Now, full disclaimer: I have my issues and my reservations with uh, with um, what you might call yeah, there we go. That'll give us a little more style. We'll give us a little more grounding. Um, with so-called AI. What they are a lot of times are just generally glorified search engines, but also uh, they're not intelligent. There's no intelligence in what the bots do. So, that being said, because I know there are a lot of people out there that get kind of pissy about the whole AI thing. There's a lot of artists out there that feel like they're going to take their jobs, and probably a lot of different creative uh, avenues that feel the same way. Disclaimer: I don't really think that this is going to replace anyone. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, what I consider a good use for AI is either shit posting, maybe generating derivative ideas or trying to find some sort of inspiration, but wholesale replacing human beings and using them as the generators of the input, because really at the end of the day these bots, they have to be trained off of somebody. Like, you don't put one of these machines onto a desert island by itself and then it suddenly starts inventing art. That isn't how it works. um but I think both extremes are kind of crazy. Like, there's the crowd that thinks it's like, we're one step away from the singularity, and then there's the crowd that feels like, um it's threatening, everything, and it's bad and we need to destroy it and turn into Luddites just doing our best to destroy it. It's it's a tool, and a rather crude one. I think that's the best way that I could put it. It's a tool and a really crude one. But anyways, yes, this is quite the long thread. Let me just scroll down from the top to the bottom. I have engaged the censorship so that, you know, you can't read ahead. Um, what I may end up doing later on is, uh, once I feel fully comfortable in doing these sorts of longer style narrations, I'll probably actually try and make proper videos of it. But for right now, I just kind of want to um, feel out how this works for me, and what doesn't work, what I need, what I don't need to sort of get the job done to a satisfactory level by my own measurements. But at least let's have fun with this run. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be an entirely new thing for me. It's going to be an entirely new thing for the channel. Hopefully I can implement this, because I think it's kind of funny, the level of just absolutely unhinged shit posting you can do by feeding the right prompts into X/Twitter's bot/AI algorithm. Again, I'm not saying it's ever going to replace actual writers, but on the other hand, I'm not going to pay somebody to help me write fucking shit posting. And you'll see the type of nonsense when I go through this thread top to bottom. A bit of background here, just to set the scene as we go into it. All of this stuff is generated based on the um, American Psycho scene, um, where they're in the boardrooms, um, comparing the business cards. Now, I'd been kind of messing around on Twitter before this with this sort of idea before I kind of hit on this, and just the absolutely insane meta that I achieved with it. Like, at one point, I, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, we're just gonna get this thing rolling because I've already been kind of yammering on for almost 10 minutes. So let's just get this thing going. Again, this is an entirely new thing I'm trying out. We'll see how it works. I'm just going to be reading this story. Um, Hopefully the audio levels are good. Um, but if it turns out to be a fun little like thing that I could work into the channel to sort of either break away from the gaming or to sort of complement just the sort of random nonsense that I like to get up to, then we'll do our best to incorporate it. My idea here is that I want to try and maybe make videos based around these concepts. So, proper recordings, working in pacing, putting in pictures so that it's not just a blank screen with me reading over some text. Or who knows, maybe maybe just me reading is good enough and that'll be good enough for people. Who knows? I don't know. I have no idea. This is entirely new territory for me. So we're going to see. I turned it up. Hopefully that's working now. I'll turn it up just a little bit more. All right. I think that's about as loud as I need to go because, again, I'm not going to be competing with video game noises in this particular stream. So almost 11 minutes. Let's get going. Again, this is going to be me reading a bunch of random AI generated shit posting that I got that I used Grok / Twitter's AI bot to generate. So let's just go with it. Again, we're starting from the scene that is based around the scene from American Psycho, which is a bunch of business executives in a board meeting. I think they were originally talking about mergers, but then they kind of got off onto a sidetrack talking about business cards and basically comparing each other's business cards as a means to sort of this absurd, superficial competitiveness between them. So, without further ado, let's get this rolling. And by the way, that's why the picture of the very brown Christian Bale is over there in the corner. I had made the mistake of typing something in that X or that Grok misinterpreted and decided it was going to generate a brown Christian Bale for some reason. So yeah, that's an AI generated Christian Bale, courtesy of Grok. Thanks, Elon. Always looking out for me. All right. All right, let's go. Interior, Pearson Pierce Conference Room, day. A sleek, sterile conference room in a Manhattan high rise. Paul, Alan, Timothy Bryce, and Louis Carruthers sit around a polished mahogany table, sipping coffee. Their tailored suits crisp. Patrick Bateman, impeccably groomed, leans back into his chair, a predatory glint in his eye. They're discussing something with intense, almost absurd seriousness. Bryce, holding a photo, smug. Take a look at this. John Wick, 2014. Pure, unfiltered intensity. The man's a killing machine. Pencil stabs, headshot, the works. It's understated, but the gravitas, unmatched. Alan raises an eyebrow, dismissive. Wick's fine, Bryce, but let's not kid ourselves. It's all surface. Now, The Dark Knight, Bruce Wayne, 2008, layered, tortured, the duality of man, billionaire playboy and vigilante. Bale's performance is a goddamn symphony. Bateman clenches his jaw, his fingers twitching. He pulls a glossy headshot from his briefcase, sliding it across the table with deliberate precision. Bateman, voice low, controlled. Gentlemen, you're both embarrassing yourselves. The Machinist, 2004. Trevor Resnick. The man dropped to 120 pounds, skeletal, haunted. Insomnia, paranoia, guilt eating him alive. It's not just a role, it's a transformation. Psychological, physical, perfection. The room quiets. Bryce and Alan exchange glances, visibly impressed but unwilling to admit it. Louis, fidgeting, pulls out his own photo, his hands trembling slightly. Louis, nervous, eager. I think you're overlooking something. Newsies, 1992. Jack Kelly, young, scrappy, leading a strike against the newspaper tycoons. Singing, dancing. Bale's raw charisma carries it. It's underrated. Bryce snorts, barely containing his disdain. Alan smirks, shaking his head. Louis, please. A musical? Are we even talking about the same actor? Let me raise the stakes. American Psycho, 2000. Patrick Bateman, Wall Street Killer. Charming, psychotic, obsessed with status. The business card scene, alone, pure genius. It's meta. It's. The air shifts. A strange tension grips the room. Bateman freezes, his smile faltering. His eyes dart to the walls, the ceiling, as if noticing something off. The others hesitate, their expressions flickering with unease. Bateman, voice tight, forced. What? What did you say? Alan, confused, backtracking. Uh, American Psycho, you know? Your role. Patrick Bateman? The Huey Lewis monologue. The axe. The Bateman's hands. And this is why I can't do this live because I start giggling and smiling and laughing. I'm trying my best to hold it back here. Bateman's hand slams on the table, startling everyone. His breath quickens, his polished facade cracking. Bateman hissing. Stop. Stop saying that. Don't you feel it? The the script? The lighting? We're not real. Bryce laughs nervously, but his eyes betray panic. Lewis grips his coffee mug like a lifeline, his knuckles white. Bryce uneasy. Pat, come on, you're freaking us out. It's just a roll like Ford versus Ferrari. Ken Miles, 2019. Gritty, passionate, stealing every scene. Bateman, snarling, standing. No, you're not listening. We're in it. American Psycho. The camera's on us right now. Look at the table. Those headshots aren't real. They're props. We're trapped in a scene about Christian Bale roles, and I'm him. Alan stands backing away, his face pale. The room feels smaller, the walls almost shimmering like a set about to collapse. Alan stammering. This is insane. You're having a breakdown. Let's just stick to the roles. Vice. 2018? Dick Cheney. Prosthetics. Voice. Mannerisms. Bale disappears into it. Can we talk about that? Lewis, whimpering, rocking. I don't like this. I don't like this. Why does it feel wrong? Like we're being watched. Bateman laughs, a hollow, unhinged sound. He grabs Alan's photo of the Dark Knight and tears it in half, his hands shaking. Bateman, wild-eyed. You idiots! We're reciting the lines. I can hear the soundtrack. Phil Collins in the background. I'm not Patrick Bateman. I'm Christian Bale. Or no, I'm playing him. And you're all extras. The room distorts subtly. Lights flicker. The table wobbles. Bryce bolts for the door, but it's locked. Lewis is crying now, muttering about Newsies like a mantra. Alan stares at Bateman, horrified. Alan, whispering. Pat, if this is a movie, what happens next? Bateman's grin is feral, his eyes glinting with something beyond madness. He pulls a pen from his pocket, gripping it like a weapon. Bateman, softly, almost to himself. Next, I think I kill you all. Or maybe I don't. Maybe the director hasn't decided yet. The lights dim. A faint, rhythmic beat. Huey Lewis's Hip to Be Square starts playing from nowhere. The men scream as the scene cuts to black. So that was the first scene. The concept behind it was I fed a prompt to Grok, basically telling it create the American Psycho business card scene, but the topic they were arguing over was Christian role bales. The funny thing is that first thing, I looked it up because I wasn't sure, but I don't think, unless he's uncredited or he's miscredited, I don't think he actually was in John Wick at all. I really don't. Uh, if if anybody out there can find like something that proves it, but I checked IMDb and a couple of other sources, I did not see him credited as being in John Wick, and I'm fairly certain that the scene generated by Grok was referencing the first John Wick movie, which that's really weird. Um, that it kind of picked a non-Christian Bale role to have as the first post. So obviously, Bryce needs to learn who the hell Christian Bale is and what movies he's starred in, because I'm pretty sure Keanu Reeves was the star of John Wick. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Keanu Reeves and Christian Bale are the same person, but I doubt it. But that was where it started. Just that meta shit post. And then once that ended and it sort of had that note where it kind of the scene cuts off. Okay, well, have fun. Um but that end of the scene where it cuts off, I decided, okay, let's see where we can take this. And so I made it meta, even more meta, by feeding itself back into itself as a prompt. So I basically told it, take the previous scene, but write another business card style American Psycho scene. But now they're talking about the previous scene and what happened after the lights went out. And so that's going to be the next part here. Interior, Pearson Pierce conference room. Day. The same sterile high-rise conference room, gleaming with corporate excess. Patrick Bateman sits at the head of the table, his suit pristine, but his eyes darting, haunted by a fractured sense of self. Paul Allen, Timothy Bryce, and Louis Carruthers are mid-discussion, their voices sharp with competitive fever. Instead of business cards, they clutch handwritten notes, wild theories about what happened after the lights went out. In that eerie meta moment, the air crackles with tension, and Bateman's grip on reality wavers. Bryce, sliding a note forward, smug. Look at this. Clean. Elegant. After the lights cut, it's a hard reset. Scene ends, and we're back at the movie's reality. Bateman's just a yuppie. No murders, all in his head. The blackout's a narrative trick, like a director yelling cut. Psychological ambiguity, flawless. Allen, leaning back, scoffing. Bryce, that's pedestrian. My theory's tighter. The blackout's literal. Bateman snaps, kills everyone in the room. Huey Lewis kicks in as he hacks us up with that pen. Blood everywhere. Classic American Psycho ultra-violence. Then he walks out, back to his apartment, obsessing over Phil Collins. It's visceral, unapologetic. Bateman's jaw tightens, his fingers drumming at the table. He's trying to focus, but his mind splinters. Am I Patrick? Or Christian, playing Patrick? He adjusts his tie, forcing a smile, and slides his own note across the table with chilling precision. Voice low, strained. You're both amateurs. The blackout's a meta break. Lights go out, and we're outside the movie. The audience sees nothing, but we're still here, stuck in the loop. I mean, Bateman's trapped, aware he's a character. Maybe I'm Bale too. The pen wasn't for killing, it was for rewriting the script. The room quiets. Bryce raises an eyebrow, intrigued but skeptical. Alan smirks, but there's unease in his eyes. Lewis, sweating, fumbles with his note. His hands shaking, he pushes it forward. I think it's simple. The lights go out and it's a dream. Bateman's dreaming the whole thing. Us, theories, Huey Lewis. He wakes up in his apartment, staring at the ceiling, still him, or, or maybe you, Patrick, or Mr. Bale. I don't know anymore. Bateman flinches at Mr. Bale, his composure cracking. He grips the table, his knuckles white, as if anchoring himself to reality. His eyes flicker to the wall, half expecting to see a camera lens. Stop it. Focus. I'm Patrick Bateman, Vice President Pearson Pierce, not an actor, not a fiction. Bryce. Oh, come on, Pat. Lewis's theory is soft. Let me double down. The blackout's a genre shift. Horror to surrealism. We're all dead already, and the scene's just Bateman's psyche unraveling. Like The Machinist, but with better suits. Admit it. My theory's got edge. Alan. Edge? It's derivative. My alternate take, the blackout's a studio edit. Director shot two endings. One where Bateman kills, one where he doesn't. The lights cut to hide the choice. It's a cop-out, but it's smart. Keeps the audience guessing. Bateman's breathing quickens, his hands abruptly pacing, his polished facade fraying. The notes on the table seem to glow under the fluorescent lights, taunting him. He runs a hand through his slick black hair, muttering, "You're not getting it. The lights went out because the set broke. I heard the music, Huey Lewis, looping, mocking me. I'm not sure if I killed you or if I'm still holding up the pen, or if I'm reading a script in a trailer somewhere. Am I playing Patrick Bateman, or am I still him?" Bryce laughs, but it's forced, his confidence shaking. Lewis whimpers, clutching his note like a talisman. Alan leans forward, his voice low, almost conspiratorial. Alan. Pat, calm down. Maybe you're right. What if the blackout's a glitch? Like we're in a simulation and it crashed. You're Bateman or Bale or both, and we're just code. That pen? It's not a weapon, it's a cursor. The room feels wrong now. Too bright, too still. The walls shimmer faintly, like a poorly rendered CGI backdrop. Bateman freezes, staring at the pen in his hand. It feels heavier, unreal. He drops it and it clatters too loudly, echoing. No. I'm real. I have a reservation at Dorsia. I use Paul Mitchell's hair care. But I also remember a green screen, a dialect coach, Christian. I'm losing it. Lewis. Patrick, please. What if the lights come back on? What if we're still here, talking about this forever? Bryce. Enough. This is insane. My theory wins. Reset. No deaths. Clean slate. Let's move on. Bateman lunges for his note, holding it up like evidence. His eyes are wild, caught between rage and existential dread. There's no moving on! The lights are still out! We're nowhere. I'm Patrick Bateman, or Christian Bale, or nothing at all, and you're all props! The fluorescent lights flicker. Hip to be square hums faintly, seeping from the walls. The men freeze, their notes trembling in their hands. Bateman stares at the pen on the floor, his reflection distorted in the polished table. The flicker intensifies, and the room begins to dim. Alan. Pat. It's now. Bateman's grin is broken, unhinged. He picks up the pen, twirling it, his voice a chilling whisper. Now, I think we find out who's directing. The lights cut to black, silence. Then, faintly, the opening chords of Huey Lewis play again. So that's the second level of meta. Remember, the first level of meta was them talking about the roles that Christian Bale has played. Now they're talking about the ambiguous ending to the previous segment. But wait! There's more! So what I did for the third part is I fed it back into itself yet again. This time, let me read the synopsis. Turns out, okay. Everyone's trying to act normal and stay true to the original scene until one of the cards turns out to be a picture of Christian Bale. So, that's the context of this part. This is where it starts to really get into the absurd. So, here we go. Let's just get it rolling. Interior, Pearson Pierce conference room. Day. The conference room is a sterile shrine to 1980s excess. Gleaming mahogany table, sharp suits, and the faint hum of fluorescent lights. Patrick Bateman sits with calculated poise, his hair slicked to perfection. Paul Allen, Timothy Bryce, and Lewis Carruthers are gathered, each clutching a small leather card holder. Their faces masks of forced nonchalance. They're exchanging business cards, a ritual of yuppie one-upmanship. But there's an undercurrent of strain, as if they're all clinging to the script of normality. Bryce. Let's see Paul Allen's card. Come on, don't haul out on us. Allen, with a practiced grin, produces a card and places it on the table. The men lean in, inspecting it with exaggerated scrutiny. The card is pristine, off-white, raised lettering, subtle embossing. Allen. Bone. Sicilian rail font. Clean, classic, tasteful, wouldn't you say? Bateman's fingers twitch, his smile tight. He pulls out his own card, sliding it across the table with surgical precision, his voice dripping with restrained pride. Bateman. Eggshell, Romanian type. It's understated, yet bold. Notice the watermark. The men nod, murmuring approval, but their eyes betray a flicker of competition. Bryce, not to be outdone, loses his card onto the table with a flourish. Bryce. Pale nimbus. Garamond. Look at that texture. It's practically alive. Bateman's jaw clenches, his gaze darting between the cards. He's about to speak when Lewis, nervous but eager, fumbles his card holder and places his card down with trembling hands. Lewis. Ivory. Yeah. Pale nimbus. Trips. uh, Ivory. Helvetica. It's simple, but I think it works. The men lean in, their expressions a mix of pity and disdain. But as they study Lewis's card, something is wrong. It's not a business card. It's a glossy photograph, a headshot of Christian Bale, mid-90s, intense eyes staring up at them. The room freezes. A heavy, uncomfortable pause engulfs them, the air thick with dread. Bryce. Lewis. What the hell is this? Lewis blinks, confused, then gasps as he sees the photo. His hands shoot back as if burned. Bateman's breathing quickens, his eyes locked on the image. Allen's smirk fades, his face paling. The memories of their prior discussions, Bale's roles, the blackout, the meta unraveling, crash into their minds like a tidal wave. Allen. No. No, not again. Theories. The light's going out. Bateman. It's him! Christian Bale! I knew it. I'm not real. I'm him. Or he's me. The pause shatters. Pandemonium erupts. Bryce leaps to his feet, knocking over his chair, his voice a frantic bellow. Bryce. This isn't happening! We're in the movie! The fucking movie! Lewis sobs, scrambling backwards, clutching his head as if to block out the memories. He trips over a chair, collapsing in a heap. Lewis. I didn't mean it. I didn't know it was Bale. We're trapped. It's Newsies. It's Psycho. It's all of it. Alan lunges for the photo, trying to tear it apart, but his hands shake too violently. He's shouting, his voice cracking with panic. We were fine. We were normal. Why'd you bring him here? Lewis, you broke the scene. Bateman's control snaps. He grabs the Mont Blanc pen from the table, brandishing it like a knife, his eyes wild with a mix of rage and existential terror. He's no longer just Patrick Bateman. There's a flicker of Christian Bale in his snarl, a man aware of his own fiction. Bateman. You're all props! Extras! I'm the star or I'm nothing! The lights went out and I'm still here! I'll kill you all before I let this set collapse again! He swings the pen at Bryce, who ducks and tackles Alan, sending both crashing into the table. Cards and coffee mugs scatter, the photo of Bale sliding to the floor, his eyes staring up accusingly. Lewis crawls toward the door, screaming incoherently about the machinist and loops. The room descends into chaos. Fists fly, chairs topple, and the walls seem to shimmer as if the set itself is unraveling. Bryce. It's your fault! You said American Psycho! You named it! Alan, choking. Alan. Shut up! It's Lewis! He brought the photo! Bateman, laughing maniacally, stabs the pen into the table, splintering the wood. He grabs the Bale photo, holding it aloft like a talisman, his voice a deranged howl. Bateman. Look at him! He's directing this! He's me! I'm Patrick! I'm Christian! I'm... The fluorescent lights flicker violently. Hip to be square blares from nowhere, deafening. Bryce hurls a chair at the window, but it doesn't break. Lewis claws at the locked door, bloodied from a stray punch. Alan, pinned by Bryce, screams about simulations and scripts. Bateman, still clutching the photo, charges at them, pen raised, his face a mask of fractured identity. The lights cut to black. The music stops. Silence. Then, faintly, the sound of a film reel clicking, as if the projector has jammed. And, as if that wasn't enough, we're gonna get even more meta. Interior, Pierce and Pierce conference room, day. The conference room is a claustrophobic tableau of corporate sterility, now heavy with the cigarette smoke curling under the harsh fluorescent lights. The mahogany table is littered with ashtrays, coffee mugs, and scattered business cards, some crumpled, others stained. A film projector sits at the center, its reel jammed, the lens dark but ominous. Having just played the chaotic scenes of Christian Bale's roles, the blackout theories, and the violent pandemonium sparked by his photo, Patrick Bateman, Paul Allen, Timothy Bryce, and Lewis Carruthers sit in intense silence, each clutching a cigarette, their faces pale, eyes bloodshot. Every movement, a flick of ash, a shift in a chair, feels like a trigger. They're terrified, not just of each other, but of the reality they're trapped in. Bryce. Nobody say anything. Just keep it together. We're fine. We're leaving. He exhales, a shaky plume of smoke, his hand twitching as he stubs out his cigarette. His eyes dart to the projector, then away, as if it might spring to life. Alan, his tie loosened, nods slowly, his fingers gripping his cigarette so tightly it bends. Alan. Right. You walk out. No cards. No photos. No theories. We don't look at it. He gestures vaguely at the projector, not daring to name it. Lewis, slumped in his chair, is a wreck, sweat soaked, cigarette trembling between his lips. He mutters to himself, barely audible, his eyes fixated on the table. Not real. Not real. Just a man. Just Pierce and Pierce. Bateman, at the head of the table, is a coiled spring. His suit is still immaculate, but his face is a mask of barely contained panic. He drags out his cigarette, the ember glowing too brightly, and exhales through gritted teeth. His gaze keeps flickering to the projector, then to his own hands, as if unsure they're his or Christian Bale's. Bateman. We move slowly. No sudden moves. No words. We don't tempt it. The men nod, a silent pact. They stub out the cigarettes with deliberate care. The ashtray is overflowing. The air is thick, oppressive, the smoke stinging their eyes. They rise from their chairs in unison, movements glacial, as if the room itself might shatter. Bryce adjusts his cufflinks, his hands shaking. Alan smooths his hair, avoiding the projector's lens. Lewis clutches the table for support, his breathing ragged. Bateman buttons his jacket, his eyes scanning the others for any sign of betrayal. They edge towards the door, a fragile procession. The silence is deafening, broken only by the faint creak of their polished shoes on the floor. Bryce reaches for the doorknob, his hand hovering, hesitant. He glances back, ensuring no one's broken formation. The door is inches away. Freedom, or at least escape, feels possible. Alan. Almost there. Just a normal day. Lewis, trailing behind, stumbles slightly, his shoulder brushing the table. He freezes, eyes wide, but no one reacts. They're too close to the exit. Bryce turns the knob, the door creaking open, revealing the hallway's sterile light. Relief flickers across their faces, though no one dares speak. Then Lewis, in a moment of nervous relief, lets out a shaky laugh, his voice barely a whisper. Thank God, we're not in Mr. Bale's movie anymore. The room implodes. The projector whirs to life with sickening click, its lens flaring, casting the opening frames of the first scene, the discussion of Christian Bale's roles, onto the wall. The men freeze, horrified, as Bryce's smug voice echoes from across the projector. Take a look at this. John Wick, 2014. Pure, unfiltered intensity. Bryce. You idiot! You said his name! You said Bill! Lewis shrieks, collapsing against the table, knocking over an ashtray. Cigarette butts and ash scatter, the projector's light flickering across his terrified face. I didn't mean it! I didn't mean it! Turn it off! Turn it off! Alan grabs a chair, swinging it wildly at the projector, but it misses, smashing into the wall. The projection continues, now showing Bateman's manic rant about the machinist. Alan's voice cracks with desperation. Alan, it's looping! We're back in the first scene. He's doing this! Bale's doing this! Bateman, his sanity unraveling, snatches the letter opener from the table, brandishing it like a dagger. His face is a twisted mask of rage and existential dread, his voice a guttural roar. Bateman, I'm not him! I'm Patrick Bateman! Or I'm trapped! You said his name, Lois! You broke the set! He charges at Lewis, who scrambles over the table, knocking the projector askew. The projector warps, distorting across the ceiling, showing flashes of the blackout, the Bale photo, the violence. Bryce tackles Alan, fists flying, screaming about scripts and simulation. Lewis, cornered, grabs a coffee mug and hurls it at Bateman, missing and shattering against the wall. Bryce, we were out! We were free! You ruined it! Alan, it's not me! It's the projector! It's alive! Bateman, laughing hysterically, slashes the air with the letter opener, his eyes wild as the projection loops faster. Now a chaotic montage of their prior scene. Huey Lewis, blood, theories, Bryce's face. The room feels smaller, the walls pulsating, the smoke choking them. Bateman, we're never leaving! It's his movie! Christian fucking Bale's movie! The projector screeches, the reel spinning out of control. Hip to be square blares, deafening as the men ascend into madness. Fists, screams, and shattered furniture. Lewis crawls under the table, sobbing. Bryce and Alan roll on the floor, pummeling each other. Bateman, clutching the letter opener, stands amidst the chaos, staring at the projection as it flickers to black. The lights dim. The projector clicks off. Silence. Then faintly the sound of a reel starting again, and the first scene's dialogue whispers, "Take a look at this. John Wick." Then I decided to see how Grok would handle stepping just outside of the meta, but still incorporating it. So let's move on to part. What are we at? 4. Interior. Pierce and Pierce conference room. Day. The conference room is a crime scene, frozen in chaos. Overturned chairs, shattered coffee mugs, and cigarette butts litter the floor, streaked mahogany table. The walls are scarred from impacts, and the air reeks of smoke and stale fear. A team of police officers, detectives, and forensic investigators move methodically through the wreckage, their faces grim. 2 Pierce and Pierce employees, nervous, suited men named Harris and Mackenzie, hover nearby, answering questions with clipped, corporate efficiency. A jammed film projector sits on the table, its lens dark but looming, untouched amidst the debris. Detective Marlowe, a grizzled veteran in a rumpled trench coat, kneels by a splintered chair, examining a blood smear. Officer Reynolds, younger and jittery, tags evidence bags, while forensic tech Carter sweeps the room with a UV light. Lead investigator Sullivan, sharp-eyed and commanding, directs the scene, her notepad filled with meticulous observations. Sullivan, you're telling me 4 execs, Bateman, Allen, Bryce, and Carruthers, just vanished? No bodies? No witnesses? Just this? Harris, nervous. Yes, ma'am. They were in a meeting, routine. Then We heard screams, music. Huey Lewis, I think. By the time we got here, the room was empty. Like they evaporated. Let's see. Mackenzie is. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the characters straight so I can keep the voices straight. Oh, Mackenzie. He's the other guy. The projector was on, looping something. We turned it off, didn't touch it since. Marla stands, frowning at the projector. Uh, looping. He lights a cigarette, with flame casting flicker across his weathered face, and exchanges a glance with Sullivan. Huey Lewis, the projector. This feels staged, like a damn movie set. Carter, calling out from the table. Carter was the. Oh, okay. Got something here. Letter opener. Blood and a blade. Prints all over it and weird scratches on the table like someone's carved a name. Bale. The room tenses. Sullivan's eyes narrow, and she steps toward the table, peering at the scratches. Reynolds, bagging a shattered mug, hesitates, his hands trembling. Bale? As in Christian Bale? The actor? That's random, right? Sullivan. Focus, Reynolds. It's probably a coincidence. Let's not jump to. Her words cut off as Carter, dusting for prints near the projector, accidentally brushes its power switch. The machine whirs to life with a mechanical click, its lens flaring. The team freezes as grainy footage projects onto the wall, not the prior scenes of Bateman and his colleagues, but this moment. Sullivan at the table, Marlowe smoking, Reynolds bagging evidence, Carter at the projector, their own voices echo, replaying the last minute verbatim. Bale? As in Christian Bale? Marlowe. What the hell? That's us. Right now. Carter. I didn't mean to. How is this happening? It's recording us? Playing us? Sullivan spins toward the door, her composure cracking. She grabs the handle, but it won't budge. The lock clicks ominously, sealing them in. Harris and Mackenzie, pale, press against the wall, their corporate facade crumbling. It's like before. The execs, they screamed about a movie, about him. Who? Speak clearly, Harris. Christian Bale. They kept saying his name like he was controlling it. The projector. It's not normal. The projection loops, now showing Marlowe's earlier line. This feels staged, like a damn movie set. The realization hits like a sledgehammer. Sullivan's eyes widen, her notepad falling to the floor. Reynolds drops his evidence bag, hyperventilating. We're in it. A Christian Bale movie. Just like them. This is American Psycho or something worse. Marlowe. No way! I'm not a damn character! Somebody smash the projector! He hurls the chair at the machine, but it bounces off, unscathed, and as if protected. The projection distorts, flickering to show the team's current panic. Carter clawing at the door, Sullivan shouting orders, Marlowe swinging again, the footage of real-time, inescapable. Carter, frantic, grabs a fire extinguisher, spraying foam at the projector, but it keeps whirring, the lens glowing brighter. It won't stop it! It's alive! It's him! Everyone, calm down! We're not in a movie. We're real. We're... Her voice falters as the projection shifts, showing a close-up of her own face, eyes wide, saying the same words. Harris, sobbing, slides into the floor, clutching his head. Mackenzie, in a blind panic, lunges for the letter opener on the table, wielding it like a weapon. Mackenzie. It's Bale! He's doing this! He's watching us! The room descends into bedlam. Reynolds tackles Mackenzie, wrestling for the letter opener, their shouts drowned by the projector's hum. Carter smashes the extinguisher against the door, denting it but failing to break through. Marlowe, roaring, grabs a broken chair leg, swinging at the projector, sparks flying, but the machine unyielding. Sullivan, desperate, tries to unplug it, but the cord is fused to the outlet, sparking when she touches it. We're trapped! It's rewriting us! Where is script? The projection loops faster, a kaleidoscope of their panic, now interspersed with flashes of Bale's face, Patrick Bateman's smirk, Bruce Wayne's scowl, Trevor Resnick's haunted eyes. Hip to be square blares from nowhere, deafening. Harris curls into a ball, muttering about loops. Mackenzie, bloodied from Reynolds' punches, slashes wildly with the letter opener. Carter collapses, screaming about simulations. Marlowe, his face a mask of rage, charges the projector one last time, only to be thrown back by an unseen force. Bale, you bastard! Let us out! The lights flicker violently. The projection stutters, showing the team frozen in their current chaos, as if the film is catching up. The door seals tighter, the walls pushing like a leaving set. The projector's whir becomes a mocking laugh. The room plunges into darkness, silence. Then, faintly, the reel clicks, and the footage restarts. You're telling me 4 execs just vanished? Oh, if you like horror, I think you'll like the next 2 segments because I decided to lean into it. All right. Let me focus here. Clinical, serious, Okay, think I got it. SCP redacted. The Bale projector. Object class, Keter. Special containment procedures. SCP redacted is to be stored in a reinforced electromagnetically shielded vault at Site 19, accessible only to Level 4 personnel or higher. The vault is to be equipped with a Faraday cage to prevent unauthorized activation. No electronic devices capable of audio or video playback are permitted within 50 meters of the containment area. All personnel interacting with SCP Redacted must undergo psychological screening to ensure resistance to mimetic and cognitohazardous effects. Any mention of the name Christian Bale within 100 meters of SCP Redacted is strictly prohibited. Personnel must use the code phrase Actor Prime when referring to the associated individual. In the event of accidental activation, the containment area is to be sealed immediately, and a Class D response team equipped with noise-canceling headsets and non-lethal weaponry will be deployed to neutralize affected individuals. Affected personnel are to be quarantined and subjected to amnestic treatment. Testing of SCP Redacted is suspended indefinitely following Incident Redacted 03. See Addendum. Any recovered instance of SCP Redacted related to media, e.g., film, reels, photographs, or audio tracks featuring Actor Prime, are to be incinerated without examination. Description: SCP Redacted is a modified 35mm projector resembling a 1980s era Bell and Howard model, with no identifiable manufacturer markings. The object is anomalily durable, resisting all attempts at physical damage, including industrial cutting tools and high explosives. SCP Redacted is capable of self-activation under specific conditions, primarily triggered by the vocalization of the name Christian Bale within its vicinity or by physical contact with its power switch. When activated, SCP Redacted projects a looping film sequence that depicts the immediate surroundings and actions of individuals present in real time, as if they are characters in a cinematic narrative. The footage is invariably styled after films featuring Actor Prime, with thematic elements drawn from movies such as American Psycho, The Machinist, or The Dark Knight. Affected individuals experience severe psychological distress, including identity disassociation, paranoia, and violent impulses, often perceiving themselves as trapped within a movie directed by Actor Prime. The projection induces a manic effect, causing affected individuals to believe they are either characters played by Actor Prime or Actor Prime himself. This leads to escalating chaos, with subjects engaging in physical altercations, property destruction, and, in extreme cases, homicide. The environment within the affected area, designated SCP Redacted A, undergoes subtle reality distortions, including sealed exits, flickering lights, and the spontaneous playback of music associated with Actor Prime's films, notably Hip to Be Square by Huey Lewis and the News. SCP Redacted A cannot be exited until the projector deactivates, which occurs unpredictably between 30 seconds and 2 hours activation. Upon deactivation, all affected individuals vanish without trace, leaving behind only physical evidence of their actions, ergo, blood, damaged objects. Recovered footage from external source surveillance shows no individuals leaving the area, suggesting a possible teleportation or dimensional anomaly. Addendum. Redacted 01. Discovery. SCP Redacted was recovered on April 30th, 2025, from the 47th floor of a Manhattan office building owned by Pierce & Pierce, following reports of a violent disturbance involving 4 missing executives. Foundation agents embedded in the New York Police Department retrieved the projector after a secondary incident involving a police investigation team. See Incident Redacted 03. The room exhibited extensive damage, including bloodstains, shattered furniture, and a letter opener with the word bail carved into a table. All individuals present during both incidents remain unaccounted for. Addendum Redacted 2. Incident Redacted 3. On May 2nd, 2025, during initial containment efforts, an investigating team led by Agent Sullivan inadvertently activated SCP Redacted by mentioning Christian Bale while examining the device. The projector displayed real-time footage of the team's actions, styled as a scene from American Psycho. Affected personnel exhibited extreme agitation, with Agent Sullivan attempting to destroy the projector and Officer Reynolds attacking civilian witnesses. The room sealed itself, and reality distortions, ergo pulsating walls, spontaneous music, were reported. After 47 minutes, the projector deactivated, and all 12 individuals present vanished. The only recovered evidence was a distorted film reel showing the team's final moments, looping their screams and the phrase, "It's his movie." Addendum Redacted 3. Containment breaches. SCP Redacted has activated 3 times since containment, each triggered by unauthorized personnel mentioning Actor Prime's name during maintenance or transport. Each incident resulted in the loss of all individuals within SCP Redacted A and significant damage to containment facilities. Current containment procedures were revised to include linguistic restrictions and electromagnetic shielding after analysis revealed SCP Redacted emits low-frequency cognitohazardous signals when dormant. Note from 05 Redacted. The mimetic influence of SCP Redacted suggests a potential connection to Actor Prime himself, though no evidence indicates he is aware of or responsible for the anomaly. Proposals to neutralize Actor Prime have been vetoed due to insufficient data and ethical concerns. Until further notice, SCP Redacted is to be treated as a high-priority cognitohazard. All personnel are reminded that even casual mention of the restricted name risks catastrophic breach. We're not in a movie. Let's keep it that way. End of file. I didn't so I never intended for it to go this route, but just after the after the generated scenario from before with the police, I was like I was like I want to see if Grok is capable of writing this as an SCP entry, and it actually did pretty decently. It gave me a serious giggle. Then I decided to take it a step further. So I asked it to actually write a short horror story based on the Bale projector as an SCP. So instead of a scene from a movie, now it's going to be a horror, a short horror story. All right, again, give me a moment. The reel that never stops. My name, synthesizing, 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 is Agent Daniel Kessler, Mobile Task Force Sigma 7. And I'm writing this in my head because I don't know if I'll ever get to say it out loud. If you're reading this somehow, maybe it's because the Foundation found my body. Maybe it's because he wanted you to see it. Either way, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to let it happen. None of us did. We were transporting SCP Redacted, the Bale projector, from Site 19 to a high security vault at Site 88. The orders were clear. No talking. No electronics. No mistakes. The thing was locked in a lead-lined case, strapped to a reinforced dolly, and surrounded by enough EMP shielding to kill a satellite. Our convoy, 3 armored vans, 8 agents, and a containment specialist named Dr. Lin, rolled through the backroads of upstate New York under a moonless sky. I was in the lead van, riding shotgun, my M4 across my lap, my eyes on the case in back. The air was heavy, like the world knew what we were doing. Dr. Lin sat across from the case, her face pale behind her visor. She'd briefed us at 0400. Don't say the name. Don't touch the switch. Don't even think about it. Her voice had trembled. I caught her glancing at the case like it was alive. Agent Torres, driving, kept his jaw clenched, his knuckles white on the wheel. Agents Harper and Ruiz, in the back with Lin, were silent, their rifles trained on nothing but ready for anything. The other vans carried Agent Patel, Nguyen, and Voss, plus a backup driver. We were pros. We'd moved the worst, but SCP Redacted felt different. It wasn't just dangerous. It was personal. The first hour was quiet, just the hum of tires and the cackle of our comms. Then Torres broke protocol. This thing gives me the creeps, he muttered, barely audible. I shot him a look, my heart spiking. Shut up, I hissed. Lynn's eyes widened, but she didn't speak. The case didn't react. We kept moving. At mile marker 47, the road carved through a dense forest, and the comms started glitching. Static, then a faint hum, like a melody you can't place. Harper swore under his breath, tapping his earpiece. Comms are fried, he said. Must be the shielding. Lynn shook her head, her voice tight. It's not the shielding. It's it. She nodded at the case, and I saw her hands tremble. The projector was still locked, but I swear I heard a click, like a reel starting. Stop talking, I snapped, my voice louder than I meant. Ruiz glared at me, but he obeyed. The van felt smaller, the air thicker. I kept my eyes on the case, my finger twitching near the trigger. The hum grew louder, and now I recognized it. hip to be square, faint but unmistakable. My stomach dropped. Taurus, pull over, I said. He didn't argue. The convoy stopped on the shoulder, engines idling, the force swallowing the light. We gathered outside the lead van, weapons drawn, the case still inside. Patel, from the second van, jogged up, his face slick with sweat. What's going on? He asked Lynn, stepping out. It was shaking. It's active, she whispered. Someone triggered it. We all froze, eyes darting. Nobody said the name, Ruiz growled, but his voice cracked. I wanted to believe him, but the music was louder now, seeping from the van like it was alive. Then it happened. Nguyen, from the third van, stumbled forward, holding a crumpled photo he'd found in his pocket. What the hell is this? He stammered, holding it up. It was a headshot. Christian Bale, staring right at us, his eyes burning. I don't know who screamed first, but the world tilted. The projectors were erupted from the van, and a beam of light shot through the open door, projecting onto the trees. It wasn't a forest anymore. It was us. Right now, our faces on the screen, me gripping my rifle, Lynn clutching her clipboard, Nguyen dropping the photo. Our voices echoed. What's going on? Shut it off! I yelled, lunging for the van. The door slammed shut, locking us out. The projection grew brighter, showing Torres banging on the door, Harper firing at the lock, sparks flying but doing nothing. It was real time, like we were already scripted. Lynn screamed, We're in the movie! It's him! And I knew she meant Bale. My mind flashed to the debrief, the mission execs, the cops, all gone. Now us. Panic took over. Patel grabbed a crowbar from the second van, smashing at the lead van's window, but it wouldn't break. Voss, wild-eyed, started shooting at the trees, screaming about cameras. Nguyen dropped to his knees, muttering, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. The projection looped, showing us fighting, screaming, dying. I saw myself on the screen, raising my rifle, and felt my hands move without thinking, aiming at Harper. Stop! I shouted, but my finger twitched, and the shot rang out. Harper fell, blood pooling. His eyes shocked. The screen showed it before it happened. Ruiz tackled me, his fist connecting with my jaw. You're one of his! He roared, meaning Bale. I fought back, not wanting to, but the music was deafening, driving us mad. Lynn grabbed the crowbar from Patel, swinging at the projector through the van's open hatch, but it sparked and flew through her back, her arm charred. Torres, sobbing, tried to run into the forest, but the trees shimmered, bending like a set, trapping him. The projection showed his scream before he made it. One by one we fell. Voss turned his gun on himself, the screen showing the muzzle flash first. Nguyen, still clutching the photo, was crushed when the third van exploded. No reason, just flames. Patel and Ruiz fought until they collapsed, bloodied, the screen looping their deaths. Lynn, crawling, reached for me, whispering, It's not real, Kessler. It's not, before the projection showed her neck snapping. And then it did, her body limp. I was the last. The forest was gone, just a black void around this van. The projector's light blinding. The scene showed me standing, holding the photo of Bale, his face morphing. Bateman, Wayne, Resnick, all him. I tried to drop it, but my hands wouldn't move. The music screamed, hip to be square, and I heard my own voice on the screen. There's no escape! I realized then my final act. We were never getting out. The projector wasn't just playing a movie. It was writing us, directing us, killing us. And Bale, or whoever he is, was watching. The light flared and I felt myself dissolve, my thoughts spooling into the real. There's no escape from the tragedy. Not for me, not for any of us. The projector's still out there, waiting for the next cast. SCP SCP Redacted designated the Bale projector as a Keter class anomaly resembling a 1980s 35mm projector capable of self-activation when the name Christian Bale is spoken nearby or its power switch is touched. It projects real-time footage of its surroundings, styled as films featuring active prime, code for Christian Bale, inducing a mimetic effect that causes identity disassociation, paranoia, and violence. Affected individuals believe they are in a movie directed by actor Prime, leading to chaos and their eventual disappearance. The containment area becomes an anomalous zone, SCP Redacted A, with sealed exits and reality distortions, including spontaneous playback of Hip to Be Square. Containment requires storage in an electromagnetically shielded vault at Site 19, with no electronics or mention of Actor Prime permitted within 100 meters. Personnel must use Actor Prime as a code phrase, undergo psychological screening, and be prepared for quarantine and amnestic treatment in case of breach. Testing is suspended following multiple containment failures, including the loss of MTF Sigma 7 during transport. And then there's a couple more posts that are meta. But I think that the SCP horror entry is probably I think the best part about it. It just kind of caps it off really well, I think. Um but yeah, I just generated a couple more ideas based on the concept. It's pretty fun. But yeah, this is kind of what I've been doing with my free time when I'm not doing anything else, is just kind of messing around with the AI tools on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I don't want to strain myself too much because I would like to stream today. So I'll probably wrap the stream up here on that note. That's kind of a high note to go out on. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I think the idea here is that if I actually do end up generating some funny stuff that I consider worth, uh, like sharing the shit posting that I do on X/Twitter using these generation tools, I'll probably try and either like work like a reading time sort of stream or maybe like make some videos or something like that. Whichever. Uh, like I said, this is an entirely new thing. If it works out, it works out, and I hope it does, and I hope everybody has a good time because that's what I'm here for. Alrighty, lol. This was genuinely super fun. Voice acting rock, by the way. I try my best. I'm not a professional, but I try to at least make it interesting. Appreciate the compliment, though. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some water, give my voice a chance to rest, and probably come back today uh, with the usual offerings, or if I find something else that's interesting, maybe we'll try something like this again. But yeah, have a good morning, good night, good day, good early evening, afternoon, late morning, early evening, middle of the night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you have a good one. Do all that fun stuff. Everybody out there who may be checking out the VODs later, if you like this, go ahead and just let me know, either by upvoting, commenting, um, let me know what you thought, all that good stuff. That's not just engagement because I like to get people's feedback on this sort of thing, so I would definitely appreciate it. But thanks, Sutan, for tuning in for the live and enjoying this fun little new little activity that we did for the day. Everyone else, I'll see y'all out there and take her easy. Whatever you do. And thanks for listening.